Central Media Radio, WCBM, Baltimore.
Good morning. It's 6 o'clock, and in for the Under the Weather Lee case, this is Dave Arlington on AM Baltimore for this Friday morning. And coming up in this hour, Mr. Information has do's and don'ts for expectant mothers. Tom Davis is Baltimore's first morning sports, and if you're looking for a small TV, say for the kitchen or the den, we'll tell you the best-rated brands. First, however, let us get you up to date on all the news with Sue Copen and Dave Humphrey.
Good morning, Dave. Floodwaters receding in Fort Wayne, Indiana, but more rain is predicted. 2 inches expected tonight. City officials and the top brass of the Army Corps of Engineers worried about the network of dikes, fearing they might not withstand more rain. Here's Army Captain Joseph Bean.
Right now we have to be worried about the stability of the dikes. As I said, they're super saturated. They could fail, but I think the volunteer effort has reinforced the dikes, so we shouldn't have a problem in this area.
Fort Wayne's mayor says his big concern now is about a potential health threat.
The two real concerns are typhoid and diphtheria. Typhoid comes from bad drinking water. We have none of that in the city of Fort Wayne. Our utilities have been preserved. Diphtheria comes from people that get cuts while they're working out on the dike. Our Board of Health is actively involved in this program, watching very closely and trying to make sure that these kids are not in any danger in any fashion.
Mayor Winfield Moses says 10,000 people in the northern Indiana city are now homeless.
Governor Hughes may be forced to pick a new state prison site next year. A Senate Budget Subcommittee has agreed to put $1 million in the state's construction budget to plan a new prison to help ease overcrowding. The state prisons are now housing almost 3,000 prisoners, more than they're designed to hold. The new prison, if a study proves it's necessary before 1990, would be built in an area away from the present prison complexes.
Hoping to reduce its projected deficit, the city school board has voted to eliminate all free transportation of students as of April 1st. There's one exception, handicapped students. The change affects some 30,000 students who will now have to pay 10 cents a trip. At last night's board meeting, the Reverend Edward Schell said he was opposed to the new fare.
The anomaly in this proposal, gentlemen and ladies, is that many youth in the most need of education in families with the least means may be priced out of an education entirely.
The board disagreed and approved what it hopes will be a reduced projected $2 million deficit by some $250,000.
Contract talks resumed this morning between General Motors and the Auto Workers Union. GM's top negotiator says he's hopeful a settlement can be reached by late tonight. The issue of profit sharing remains a crucial hurdle.
3 minutes past 6 at WCBM's AM Baltimore. Here's up-to-the-minute AccuWeather. Sunny and breezy today, high 55 to 60, now 42 degrees.
This week, there's a steak sale at Giant, the quality meat people. Save on juicy sirloin steak with tenderloin, USDA Choice, $2.59 a pound, Giant Lean, $2.49 a pound. Or plan your next dinner around tender T-bone or porterhouse steak. USDA Choice, $3.59 a pound, Giant Lean, $3.49 a pound. And for quick money-saving meals, try USDA Grade A fresh chicken breasts with ribs. Giant brand or Holly Farms Jumbo Pack, $1.25 a pound. You'll find many other fresh chicken parts on sale, too. Quality you can count on and value you can trust from Giant, the people who care.
Pick up discount ticket certificates at Giant Food for the 5th Annual Baltimore Flower and Garden Show on March 24th, 25th, and 26th at the Baltimore Convention Center.
President Reagan is again calling for support for his embattled economic program. Mike Von Frem reports the latest call came Thursday afternoon in Washington.
The president told the heads of some of the largest businesses in the country that he's been a little disappointed with them lately for urging him to raise taxes. The president said they've forgotten that feeding more dollars into the government is like feeding a stray pup. It just follows you home and sits on your doorstep asking for more. Mr. Reagan said that now is not the time to haggle over his economic plan. He let the business leaders know that the economic situation may appear grim, but he held out plenty of hope, saying the recent changes in industrial production production and housing starts indicate that the U.S. is on the verge of a turning point in the economy. Mike Von Fremd, ABC News, the White House.
In Washington today, the House Committee on the Aging holds a hearing on a proposal from the White House to cut federal Medicaid and Medicare spending. The elderly and poor would be affected. Newsman Charles Gibson reports reaction from the committee is not expected to be favorable.
It's indicative of just how hard it is to make any cuts in the federal budget. On the face of it, proposed administration reductions in Medicare and Medicaid are modest, $4.5 billion from the rate of increase in those two programs that together cost over $70 billion. But every program has its adamant defenders. Claude Pepper, chairman of the House Aging Committee, contends in hearings this morning $3 billion of the cuts will come directly from aid to the elderly, most of whom are at or near subsistence incomes. Pepper, trying to prevent those cuts, calls them disastrous.
Several groups from Baltimore are expected to attend that Capitol Hill hearing.
In El Salvador, 4 Dutch journalists have been killed. Hillary Brown, who is in El Salvador, says a cover-up may be in the works.
Authorities here say the Dutchman died in crossfire between government troops and guerrillas. But a friend of the journalists who knew where they were going when they were last seen alive told ABC News that he thinks they were set up for an ambush. Last week, the group were questioned by police for having contacts with the guerrillas here, and according to a colleague, were all later threatened. Hillary Brown, ABC News, San Salvador.
City police are searching for a man who raped a 36-year-old woman last night and then slit her throat. The incident happened in the 1000 block Buren Street near the railroad tracks there. The woman is now in stable condition at City Hospital.
6:06 on AM Baltimore. There's a whole lot of shaking going on at Mount St. Helens. Mild tremors rocking the Washington State volcano. Scientists still say a non-explosive eruption will occur there within the next few days.
Baltimore Gas and Electric is offering a free home weatherization program for needy Baltimore residents. WCBM's John Rydell has more.
BG&E is contributing $100,000 toward the program. It's an expansion of Mayor Schaefer's Blue Chip-In project. Under the plan, low-income families who either own a home or rent but pay utilities can apply for special weatherization. Utility spokesman Charles Franklin.
We've seen real success with the homeowner program that's been underway. So far, some 300 homes have been weatherized using former SPEDA workers who otherwise would have been out of jobs as a result of the federal cutbacks.
BG&E contributes the money and advice while the city, through federal funds, pays for the actual materials. Franklin says it's not a solution, but is a big help to those who have a hard time paying utility bills. John Rydell, WCBM News.
Later this morning, Baltimore's National Aquarium reopens, and when it does, Acting Director Bill Flynn tells WCBM News there will be 3 entry points. 2 of them are new.
The main entrance, of course, will be for the general public, and that's at the escalator in the front. Our membership group, who number in the many thousands now, will be entrancing through the security area and riding up on an elevator to the first level and joining the main flow of traffic at that point. Our groups that arrive by bus will be greeted at the bus turnabout and taken into the east side entrance and up into the auditorium.
Flynn says the changes were made to facilitate a greater degree of convenience in crowd control. 6:08 on AM Baltimore. Next, a look at our air commuter report.
And bring me a bottle of Premiat wine, please.
But, monsieur, Premiat from Romania? Why not a great French wine? France has been making wine for centuries.
So has Romania. I'll take the Premiat.
But, monsieur, the climate of France is perfect for winemaking.
The same climate as Romania. Just bring the Premiat.
But what about the grapes in French wines? The Cabernet Sauvignon, the Pinot Noir?
The same grapes used in Premiat wines, and I would like some now, please.
Monsieur, are you suggesting there is no difference between our French wines and this Premiat?
Oh, no, there's a difference.
Aha!
Premiat is a lot less expensive.
Oh.
It's true. Wine critics compare Premiat to French wines that cost twice as much. Try Premiat's rich Cabernet Sauvignon, Pinot Noir, and 2 excellent white Rieslings.
I can't believe it. This Premiat does taste like our fine French wines.
When you're through tasting my Premiat, could I have some?
Premiat wines from Monsieur Henri, a name you can trust. Imported by Monsieur Henri Wines Limited, New York, New York.
Now time for our BWI Air Commuter Report.
Good morning. The weather at Baltimore Washington International Airport is partly cloudy and the temperature is 36 degrees Fahrenheit. Flights are arriving and departing on schedule this morning. Checking conditions at other major airports. Boston reports light snow. Temperature is 35 degrees. New York reports partly cloudy skies. Temperature is 43 degrees. Pittsburgh reports cloudy skies. Temperature there is 38 degrees. To the south, Norfolk has cloudy skies. Temperature 46 degrees. Atlanta has fog. Temperature 61 degrees. And in Miami, partly cloudy skies. Temperature there is currently 72 degrees. To the west and far west, Cleveland reports cloudy skies. Temperature 37 degrees. Chicago has cloudy skies. Temperature there is 38 degrees. And in Los Angeles, partly cloudy skies. Temperature 48 degrees. That's our WCBM Air Commuter Report for this morning. This is Lynn Haynes in the Operations Center at BWI Airport.
It'll be rather mild today, but a cold front arriving tonight will be followed by chilly northeast winds, and then a storm from the middle of the country will bring us rain tomorrow. Here's WCBM's AccuWeather forecast. Sunshine and breezy at times today with a pleasant afternoon high of 55 to 60. Becoming cloudy this evening, then chilly later tonight and tomorrow with periods of rain. Low tonight 35 to 40. Temperatures tomorrow no higher than the 40s. Sunday, cool, and it may still be wet. The high 45 to 50. This is meteorologist Elliot Abrams with WCBM's AccuWeather.
Humidity is at 89%. Winds out of the west-northwest at 8. Now 42 degrees. Helping you face the day, this is AM Baltimore on 68 WCBM. Both Lee Case and Eric Smallwood a little under the weather this morning. I'm Dave Arlington along with Dave Humphrey and Sue Copen. WCBM's AM Baltimore time is 11 minutes after 6. The daily lottery number drawn last night, 043.
Time. When you ship air cargo, time really is money. That's why Flying Tigers offers you 3 ways to get your shipment delivered at 3 different prices. All guaranteed 100%. You only pay for the delivery you need. Overnight by 1 p.m. or for less money, overnight by 5 p.m. or for still less, second day by 5 p.m. Call us and we'll pick it up, fly it, and deliver it virtually anywhere in the country on time, or you don't pay. At Flying Tigers, it's on time, or it's on us.
Some restrictions apply. For complete information on Flying Tigers Guarantee and to arrange for a pickup, call Flying Tigers at area code 301-859-8581. That's area code 301-859-8581.
Remember the old days where it used to be, do you have a television set or do you have a color TV? And now it's how many TVs do you have? How many rooms have TVs? A lot of people have a little TV in the kitchen or in the den. I don't know if we've invaded the bathroom yet. However, a lot of people have television sets. If you're looking for a little small one, let's name some brands. Here's our consumer report from Jack McIntyre for this morning.
If you're in the market for a small TV, some portable black and white sets should do. But which is best? This is Report to Consumers. The frills and fancy features you might expect to find on small color TVs are missing from the 16 black and white 12-inch televisions tested by Consumer Reports electronics engineers. And yet they are a bargain since they list for about $100 and many will be discounted. The engineers judged that all of the models tested produced at least a satisfactory picture, some rated higher than the rest because of their superior picture clarity. The RCA AFR 120S at $120 was top-rated. Besides good picture quality, it offered preset fine-tuning and easy-to-read channel selectors. Next was the Toshiba T288 for $130. The Toshiba bettered the RCA in the engineer's test for geometric distortion. The 3 others, the Ward's Catalog 11250, Philco B422 MWH, and the Sylvania MWO 130WH, all lacked preset fine-tuning and couldn't match the Toshiba in freedom from geometric distortion. But their picture clarity still kept them ahead of the rest of the sets. All three are priced around $100, and the engineers noted that those three were also among the sets that scored well at resisting interference from adjacent channels. Most of the models tested come with a 12-month warranty on parts, including the picture tube, and 3 months coverage on labor. This has been Report to Consumers, produced by Consumer Reports magazine in cooperation with WCBM News. I'm Jack McIntyre.
WCBM AM Baltimore time is 6:15. This is Dave Arlington in for Lee Case. You're always up to date on WCBM's AM Baltimore. AccuWeather, sunny and breezy today. Highs 55 to 60. 43 is the current temperature. You've heard of the Pride of Baltimore. Well, you could be the Pride of Baltimore. You couldn't be a ship. You could be a Pride of Baltimore volunteer this spring and summer, however. If you'd like to assist with all the tourists coming to the city, call this number for information, 532-7244. WCBM cares about Baltimore and you. We'll check the upsets and all the scores with Tom Davis Sports in 30 seconds.
Post Raisin Bran, Creep Nut Cereal, Bird's Eye Frozen Foods, Safeway, and General Foods salute springtime with stock-up savings on famous General Foods products. Gravy Train Pet Food, Jell-O Gelatin, Minute Rice, so many of your favorites, the brands you always buy. Now specially priced during the Safeway General Foods Salute to Spring Sale. Cream with topping, open tip barbecue sauce at Safeway, where more of the best savings keep bringing up.
All right, in sports, we had some upsets yesterday in the NCAA. The biggest one, the Cavaliers of Virginia. Met right, Tom?
Boy, Dave, when you think about this club, Virginia, they've been somewhat pressed the last 10 games. 9 out of their last 10 games, they were decided by 5 points. And last night, their season was decided as Alabama-Birmingham beat them 68-66. Gene Bartow is now just one win away from the Final Four, and this would mean the third different team that he's coached to the Final Four. The other two are UCLA and Memphis State. Alabama-Birmingham upsetting the University of Virginia 68-66. I think a lot of basketball observers could probably see this one happening because the Cavaliers have been in so many close games and so many close victories. It's got to catch up to you sooner or later. The other Mid-East game, Louisville 67, Minnesota 61. So Louisville will now meet Alabama at Birmingham with the winner going on to the Final Four. The Cards were down by 7 late but came back for a 6-point victory. Out west, Georgetown defeated Fresno State 58-40. Sleepy Floyd 16 points. Pat Ewing 15, mostly slam dunks. Now Oregon State will play Georgetown because Oregon State beat Idaho 60-42. Lester Connor 24 points, 10 downs for Oregon State. Back to the Georgetown game for a minute though. Coach John Thompson said that Fresno State played a good perimeter defense.
I think they're probably one of the most outstanding perimeter defensive teams that we've had the opportunity to play against. They caused us so much problem that I didn't feel we ever were able to get into our offense as smoothly as we would like to have gotten into it. We tried to emphasize getting the ball in a little bit more in the second half because they were giving us so much pressure on the perimeter.
So it'll be Georgetown against Oregon State. That one of those two teams will go on to the Final Four, while Louisville, Alabama, Birmingham, one of those two teams will go to the Final Four. NBA last night, Atlanta by 1 over Houston. Detroit down, Seattle by 4. It was Portland 1-9, Golden State 95. NIT tournament, Georgia over Virginia Tech by 17. Bradley by 16 over Tulane. Bradley's got to be favored to win that NIT. They didn't make the NCAA and were considered a very good team. Oklahoma by 9 over Dayton. In the Alhambra Classic up in Cumberland for high school basketball, Calvert Hall 72, Monsignor Bonner 63, Mackin beat Bishop Walsh 74-37. Baseball last night, the Orioles played what amounted to a doubleheader, day-night doubleheader. First game, they played against the Atlanta Braves and won it 7-3. Mark Corey, a 2-run triple and a solo home run. Flanagan, Grimsley, and Stanhouse pitched well. And in the second game, the Orioles were making up their first exhibition rainout game. The Yankees beat them 6-3. Dave Winfield's 2-run homer, the 7th inning, broke a 3 tie. Winfield homered off of Tippy Martinez. Scott McGregor gave up 3 runs to the Yankees in the first inning. The Oriole runs were knocked in by Len Secada, Rick Dempsey, and John Shelby off of Tommy John. Track star Ronaldo Skeets Nehemiah has signed for a tryout with the Philadelphia Eagles, and John Lucas, who missed the Bullets game the other night against Philadelphia, has called the club. He's okay, but his whereabouts unknown. That's the second time he's missed a game this year. So Dave, I'll return at 6:45 and talk talk more about those college basketball tournaments played last night, and also have Ross Grimsley back on talking about his quest to make the Orioles.
Okay, thank you, Tom. And Ted Patterson will be in for Neil Eskridge in just a few moments. He'll be suggesting that Cooperstown could be the home of the Hall of Shame. 6:19 now on AM Baltimore, where you're always up to date at WCBM. Here's up to the minute Metro traffic. Reporting for Choice. This time you had one. Here's Chuck Jackson.
Good morning, everybody. So far, no trouble at all for commuters coming into downtown Baltimore this morning. Coming in from the west end, Mulberry Street, very heavy now, but no serious backups off of the I-170 area. And coming in from the south, Russell Street, Hanover Street are clear. For commuters between Baltimore and Washington, 2995 and the Parkway all look good. The tunnel is posting no backups either way, and the southbound JFX is smooth into downtown. Chuck Jackson, Metro Traffic Control.
Win a trip for two to Hawaii. Watch your mail for details about the Choice American Airlines Week of Sundays sweepstakes. Aloha from Choice.
68 WCBM, helping you face your day. This is AM Baltimore. I'm Dave Arlington for the Morning Mayor, and with continuing news, the stories we're covering, here's Sue Copeland and Dave Humphrey.
The Sandinista government in Nicaragua plans to impose a special tax to help pay for its defense buildup. The leftists say the buildup is meant to ward off an invasion. Its claims being plotted by counter-revolutionaries in Honduras with CIA support. General Motors and the United Auto Workers say they could reach agreement on a new package of contract concessions today. A big stumbling block, though, has been the issue of profit sharing.
For the first time in nearly 10 years, Washington is cutting off federal aid to a school district found guilty of racial discrimination. A Mississippi school district will lose $200,000. Talk in Washington of holding down scheduled cost of living increases for Social Security and other benefit programs. Sources say Republican senators have mentioned the possibility in meetings this week.
A state Senate budget subcommittee has okayed $1 million to plan for the construction of another major state prison. Lawmakers are mentioning sites in Prince George's and Cecil counties for that prison. Highway officials around Maryland are trying to come up with money to pay for the high snow removal bills over this past winter. Those bills are nearly double the amount in government budgets. The money needed to clear the snow.
Our top story this morning, the water level in flood-ravaged Fort Wayne, Indiana has fallen, but more rain is expected today.
You're always up to date with WCBM's AM Baltimore, where it's now 21 minutes past 6 o'clock.
If you go around my neighborhood, the top story today is really that the Pac-Man cartridges are in.
It breaks the eerie silence of the dawn like a thundering herd of elephants. It's Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, bringing with it 500 of the world's most astounding animals and performers, and all the thrills, and laughter you could ever want. It's the one event you must see. Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, the greatest show on earth.
Now through March 28th at the Baltimore Civic Center. Plenty of good seats available at the box office, all area Heck stores, Towson Center, or by calling 539-7440.
Fish for sale, Gino's got your fish for sale.
Now, hold on a second. That's not Gino's Fish for Sale. It's Gino's Fish for Sale. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, why don't you say so? Fish for sale, Gino's got 4 fish for sale.
No, not 4 fish, 4 coupons.
What happened to the fish?
Look, right here in this Sunday's paper.
The fish is in the paper.
No, the Gino's Fish for Sale ad is in the paper.
And you wrap the fish in the egg.
No, you clip the coupon.
Hey, you can't kid me, boss. Fish ain't gonna fit in a coupon.
No, you take the coupons to Gino's.
If they put the fish in there.
No, every coupon gets you a Gino's crispy fish sandwich for only 69 cents.
69 cents? Hey, that's a pretty good price, hey, boy.
It's a great price.
Hey, you said it. Okay, now I'm gonna try it again. Fish for sale, Gino's got your crispy fish sandwich for only 69 cents with the 4 special coupons and a special inside in the Sunday paper.
Stop. You're giving me a headache.
Well, I don't have any headache. How about I give you a flounder?
6:23 at AM Baltimore from WCBM 043, the winning daily lottery number drawn last night, 043. WCBM's AccuWeather forecast for today. Sunshine and breezy times with a pleasant afternoon high of 55 to 60, but then becoming cloudy this evening and chilly later tonight and tomorrow with periods of rain. Lows tonight 35 to 40. Temperatures tomorrow no higher than the 40s, and looking ahead through the weekend, Sunday cool. It still may be wet with the highs from 45 to 50. 43 is the current Baltimore temperature. Actually, it's a very serious story coming out of Fort Wayne and in the Midwest with those three rivers coming together and all the high water. It got me thinking about Ellicott City. Dave, Sue, you ever spend nice spring weekends walking around Ellicott City? It's a nice place to go.
It is a nice place to go, but of course, as you're thinking, there is a potential for flooding there, as it is along the Jones Falls Valley, and there's a lot of water in this area.
The thing that I was thinking about is that if you do notice, they have a place in Ellicott City where the high water mark from the last hurricane is marked, and if you don't see that, you can easily forget that anything happened there. So in Fort Wayne, things will get back to normal very quickly, however, at quite a bit of cost. 6:24 now, AM Baltimore time at WCBM. And in for Neil Eskridge today, who is still recuperating in the hospital, here's Ted Patterson reporting.
Thank you, and good morning, everybody. 2 for 4 in baseball is a pretty good stat, a job well done. But when those picking the Baseball Hall of Famers bat only 2 for 4, they have to be tabbed miserable failures. Certainly the writers' picks of Henry Aaron and Frank Robinson in January were correct and proper, 2 of the great all-time stars. But the 2 men picked last week by the Veterans Committee, Happy Chandler and Travis Jackson, are just 2 more examples of the cronyism that permeates the selections. Happy Chandler was commissioner for 6 years, a change of pace from the stern Mountain Landis, but one who makes Spike Eckert and Bowie Kuhn seem not so bad. Chandler's refrain of "eyes like baseball" was his only claim to fame. Apparently, the committee felt that when this Southern gentleman looked the other way when Branch Rickey broke the color line was a study in willpower that merits Hall of Fame status. In reality, the committee should be ashamed. The same holds true for Travis Jackson, a slick fielding shortstop with the Giants in the 20s, who wasn't even to be found in the book on the all-time greats of the game, simply because he had no criteria for being rated so high. The Veterans Committee, led by old Giant Bill Terry, seems determined to vote in every Giant from the 20s other than the Water Boy. How else do you explain such other non-deservers like Freddie Lindstrom, High Pockets Kelly, and Ross Young's being there? Good players, yes, but hardly Hall of Famers. At a time when a 300 batting average was practically the rule rather than the exception, Jackson reached it just 6 times in 16 years. His highest batting mark, 339 in 1930, and that's the year both leagues averaged 300 collectively, and the year in which Terry hit 401. Finishing 62 points behind the leader isn't criteria for greatness, since you have to measure players of each era against each other. That works out to a batting champ of today hitting 320 and a 260 hitter being put in the same company. Ridiculous. Baseball's Hall of Fame has long been knocked for putting those who aren't deserving in and keeping so many obvious deserving players on the outside looking in. When you talk about shortstops not elected, Jackson lines up somewhere in the second 5, with Archie Vaughan heading the list, yet passed over year after year. All Vaughan did was hit 318 lifetime, over 2,000 hits in 17 seasons, 12 times over 300, including a 385 in 1935 when he led the league. He was also a great all-around player, but passed over year after year when it comes to the Hall of Fame. The fact he didn't play for the Yankees or Giants hurts him. The same holds true for Country Slaughter, a 300 lifetime hitter over 20 hustling seasons. While people in the Hall like Lefty Gomez, Ray Schalk, Rabbit Moranville, Ralph Kiner, and Bobby Wallace just don't belong, you have Ernie Lombardi, Pee Wee Reese, Charlie Grimm, George Kell, Babe Herman, Ken Williams, 242-game winner Vic Willis, and Richie Ashburn, who eclipsed 2,500 hits and a 300 lifetime average, but yet barely showing up in the balloting. In behalf of these men, it should be called the Hall of Shame. But what else do you expect from some of the powers that be in baseball? This is Ted Patterson reporting.
It's 6:29 AM Baltimore time at WCBM.
How much was your last dry cleaning bill? You know, the one for a sweater, a couple of pairs of pants, a dress, and a jacket or two. $15, $20. Well, before you drop another 20 this week, listen to this. Now you can actually do a lot of that dry cleaning right at home in your own dryer with a remarkable, safe new product called Sweater Fresh. There's never been anything like it before. You just spray your garment with Sweater Fresh, then throw it into the dryer for 2 minutes. Take it out, and that's it. Sweater Fresh removes dirt, wrinkles, and odors. It'll smooth out the kids' corduroys, freshen a smoky jacket, clean a dingy cashmere sweater. Your clothes come out of your dryer looking like they just came back from the cleaners. But at just pennies per use, Sweater Fresh leaves you with something no dry cleaner ever did. Money. Sweater Fresh is even easy to buy. It's right at your supermarket. So don't get taken to the cleaners. Dry clean at home and save money. Sweater Fresh it.
Your exclusive AccuWeather station, WCBM, Baltimore.
It's 6:30. Good morning. I'm Dave Humphrey.
And I'm Sue Copeland, substituting for Eric Smallwood, and this is AM Baltimore. And at AccuWeather, WCBM forecaster Elliot Abrams.
Today's going to be a nice day. Instead of the easterly flow we worried about yesterday, we expect sunshine, high of 55 to 60. Then it will cloud over this evening, turn chilly. Late tonight and tomorrow, we look for periods of rain. Low tonight, 35 to 40. Temperatures tomorrow will never leave the 40s, and the damp weather may still be with us Sunday.
We'll have an in-depth look at AccuWeather coming up in just a few minutes.